Good morning, it's Josh George here, college football time, week 10. Well, we've got the Thursday game here, Virginia Tech and Boston College. Boston College has lost 4 in a row here, but Virginia Tech, it's really hard to tell what their defense is going to look like. Their offense has actually gotten more balanced over the last few weeks, running the ball, passing the ball efficiently, but according to the FBI, Boston College has a 63% chance to win this football game, and the magic number for Virginia Tech is 23. 23 points per game let in, 23 points per game on average when they're on offense. But I think it's a close one, a grind out. Boston College wins in a defensive battle, 20-10. Florida held Georgia to under 20 points, under 30 points at half. Looked like it was going to be a close game. I think we expect something very similar out of Missouri, but Georgia is only allowing 6 points per game, and I think they win 38-6. LSU and Alabama. Look, this game is less about Alabama and more about LSU and coaches. We know Coach O was fired, and coaching changes is what we do on this show, apparently, after last week getting the Tech coach fired. So, now who's going to replace Ed O? I think that's the most intriguing thing, because Alabama is the number one efficiency rating in college football. That's why I've got them 55-10. But I think Matt Campbell could be a good fit here, and I think from Iowa State, I think that Jeremy Cardell at Coastal Carolina could be a good fit here. But the guy I think that could really be intriguing and that you should really look at is an NFL offensive coordinator, Eric Bieniemy. And I think he could really be the guy. His offense, he's got that NFL background, and at LSU, you're coaching a bunch of NFL players, so I think he could be the guy. So let's see if they make a move in that direction this week after watching my video. Ohio State and Nebraska. Dude, Scott Frost also going to get fired. A guy that they really might want to look at is Hip Hill, defense coordinator at Wake Forest. And, of course, Bieniemy would be a good fit for them as well. But I've got Ohio State. Ohio State, the way they did Penn State, they found themselves. They looked good. They win this game 48-28. Oregon and Washington. Washington's actually number 2 in passing defense yards per attempt, which is great. That secondary is looking really good, but it's just 1 or 2 plays that make the difference in a game. 1 or 2 penalties on defense that make the difference, keeping drivers alive. Slow, methodical drives for Oregon, 35-24. Hugh Freeze enters his old stomping ground. Not a fun outing, I can imagine. Matt Corral is going to be upset, and the Lane train is going to roar. They're going to bring the wood. Ole Miss wins 50-28. Wake Forest and North Carolina. Look, North Carolina actually has a higher 247 talent composite, a higher rivals rating right now than the 8-0 Wake Forest Demon Deacons. The Demon Deacons have looked good, don't get me wrong, and I'm sure that they are good. I mean, everything says that they're finding a way to win. That defense is really good, especially in the secondary. That their turnover margin is amazing, and they're just the FBI says they're going to win. It says North Carolina's going to win. The spread early, North Carolina's -2.5, an early favorite here this Sunday morning. I was just looking around to see what I could find. Somebody out there thinks North Carolina's going to win this football game, and Mac Brown pulls it together, pulls off the upset 27-24. Auburn and A&M. Well, we've seen Alabama go to College Station, and what happened? Well, this is another Alabama team. Right now, Auburn controls their own fate for the SEC win, and you're in the SEC title game. But I feel like Bo gets rattled by College Station and the 12th man. I've got A&M 31-28. Baylor and TCU. Baylor is 12th in total offense in the country. Baylor has a Dave Aranda defense, which is number 1 in defensive efficiency in the Big 12. TCU doesn't look like TCU. They average 5 yards per play, though. They can grind out drives, have long drives. I don't know. They're at home in a rivalry game. The religious game for Dallas. I don't know. It's just something in the air this morning when I was thinking about this. I was like, well, Baylor's going to win the football game. Looking at the stats, well, Baylor's going to win the football game. Looked at the FBI, looked at the 247, looked at all these things. I've got TCU 35-31. Rivalry game. Texas and Iowa State. Look, Texas is the more talented team. Texas is 11th according to the 247 talent composite. Iowa State 51. Big difference in talent. But the FPI has Iowa State. Matt Campbell has turned that program around. Texas cannot finish a game in the fourth quarter. Couldn't finish again against Baylor. That hurts them. Iowa State finds a way to beat them thanks to Matt Campbell and these boys who play with heart. And it's in Ames. Iowa State 31-30 over the Texas Longhorns. Come on. Let's go. Well, the Air Force Army game. Air Force turns the ball over. They're number 2 in turnovers in college football in the big rivalry game. So I've got Army over Air Force. I'm Josh George. This was Week 10 college football predictions.